Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Craft and Chill. Who do we got here? We got Trip D Outpost and the Toilet Network, which I'm glad that we have an entire network here today. Thank you for coming by. How you guys doing tonight? I feel like Ed comes by as the Toilet Network, and then approximately 30 seconds later, he transforms into Action Figs. What's up, Fat Red? Always forget to switch, right? It's all good. Same Time Toys, what's going on, man? How's it going? How you doing, man? You been doing any more shows, going around, any traveling, or you resettled back at home again, which, you know, does tend to happen. I have been sick again. It seems like I just, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. I feel like I've been sick a bunch this year. I usually don't get sick this much, but sore throat, a lot of drainage. Went to work anyway, you know. Feel a little miserable. So this may come as a surprise. I didn't have much of a plan what to do today. We did this kind of makeshift little mausoleum thing that's going to go on the big old cemetery graveyard diorama. But all that's really left to do on that, besides some detail stuff, is flocking. And I don't really want to flock on here. I was thinking about maybe doing like some little, like, you know, flocking vine kind of stuff on here, but it's going to get everywhere in here. I usually do flocking in the other room. Plus, with the sinuses and everything, I kind of don't want to mess with the dust, so we're gonna do the thing that I always have laying around, it seems like, when I can't think of anything else to do, and that is to put together hella dope crates. So maybe I'll finish these tonight. I would have had them finished a long time ago, but hella dope's been on hiatus, so there hasn't exactly been a rush to get them done. Okay, where we're at. So, not allowed to leave. Right, Shane? Okay, you're in lockdown. That's cool. Had that a couple of weeks ago, the crud. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people have been getting it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Happy with the print quality on some of these. These are okay. These are varying, you know. Some of these, like, you know, that's fine, obviously, but even that, where it's like a little faded, it used to bother me, and then I was kind of like, actually add some character. A stamp on a crate would be faded, but I don't like it where it's completely, you know, like that one. Can't even read it. I'm not a big fan of that. What do you do with all those boxes? Yeah, I just have boxes. I have a whole room full of boxes. No, we, last year we sold a bunch of them on the Hella Dope Toys website that Ed, who's in here, Action Figs, actually helps out with. Sinuses. Yeah, my voice gets deeper whenever I get these sinuses. But yeah, they should go up for sale at some point on Hella Dope Toys. He stores stuff, right? Ugh. Alright, John. Get it together, man. Get it together. What are we doing here? I was just checking out your post, Ed. It's kind of neat the way you're taking all those, you know, different things from different people and incorporating it into your builds. I mean, Fat Red does that too, but everything Fat Red builds is part of Pneumonia City, so. Oh, yeah. Where's the mallet? Maybe the misprints could be Punk with Toys boxes. Maybe. Maybe, Fat Red. Alberto, what's going on? Yeah, I know. It's a little bit of a different look. It's been a minute. Yeah, I saw, what was it, White Vegeta had his crates in there, and yeah, man, but that's cool. That kind of stuff didn't used to happen, you know, a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago. It's kind of neat how that all is, you just see, let me just destroy what I'm doing here. You could just see like all the different parts of the community getting together for that kind of stuff is pretty neat. Lots of resources that weren't available at one point. Yeah, I commented on there, Ed. I thought it was pretty neat, the palm print scanner. Decade ago, man. Yeah. Do I cut them myself? Yeah, all these boxes I designed and then cut on my laser cutter. So last year, the ones we did trip were these guys right here. These are the original Hella Dope crate set. You know, and I just kind of made them intending, you know, it would be like some merch that the Hella Dope guys could have their logo on for name recognition, and you know, people would use it in toy photography, and they did, like, quite a bit actually. But people also started using them to store parts in, and one of the requests was, you know, this is great, I can store parts in, but it's not long enough to store most weapons. So this can hold like a you know, a rifle or something like that in there. But I think, you know, they're made by hand, so I can't make an infinite amount of them, but I think we sold, I want to say we sold 50 sets of the other one, so 150 crates. Yo, where's Random? I don't know, man. He had to take a little break, and he got me to sub in for him. I had the idea for that scanner since I got the cutout from you. Okay. Yeah, it's got a very retro look with the scanner, Ed. I like it. It kind of makes me feel like some kind of, I don't know, like some 60s sci-fi kind of vibe. Yeah, John, it's, I don't know. It's been interesting. It's been interesting. Not much, man, you know. Just doing the same old right now. Man, that is faded. What are you up to? You got any live streams coming up over there? I know you don't do the regularly scheduled ones on YouTube anymore. Up late tonight? Yeah. I keep meaning to start earlier, and I just keep not starting earlier. Last Thursday of the month, 6 p.m. So that's 5 p.m. over here. Okay. See if I can catch one of those. Is it just you, or you got the crew back, or is everyone kind of? The beard's been gone for maybe 3 weeks now. It's been pretty recent, man. Pretty recent. People at work, man, that was crazy. Because it's been 11 years since I cut it. So there are a few people that remembered, but a lot of people were like, who is this guy? Do you feel like you can move your neck more? No. I don't feel like I can move my neck more. I feel like I could eat food in front of people. You know, like you can't eat chicken wings with a mustache like that too easily in front of people. I mean, you can do it, but it's a tricky proposition. It's a lot faster in the shower, where I only have to shampoo and condition the top of my head and not my face as well. Just solo, easier to organize. Yeah. Won't be parting the Red Sea anytime soon. Yeah, well, you know. It grows pretty quick. I don't know how long it would take to get sufficient, but I feel like 6 months to a year would be pretty bushy again. Not quite that long and wizardly, though. What inspired the cut? That's wild. John, I was supposed to cut it at 10 years, and it was 11. I told myself I would do it probably about 10 years, and I just kind of procrastinated, so... You know, it is what it is. I was wondering, yeah, I was like, man, I wonder what I look like. Haven't seen myself in a minute. And everyone's on their solo missions, huh? That's pretty cool. It's hard to keep up a stream, especially with a group, you know, to get people to keep meeting. That's like, you know, trying to keep the band together, trying to keep the same group that plays Dungeons and Dragons together. It's easy to do when you're a teenager. It's super hard to do when you're an adult. But even a solo stream like this, you know, I mean, after length of time, it becomes increasingly, like, sometimes it can be difficult to get motivated. Everyone seems to feel that after a couple of years. 3 years? Has it been that long, man? That's wild. I'm not even post-beard shock anymore. It looks good. Thank you, Fat Red. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. It can be, man. It just is what it is. I mean, I guess if you're like, you know, blowing and going and there's money coming in or something, it would make it maybe less, but I'm not even sure. I think anything after a while. It's got to feel like it's growing and evolving, and because I you know, my interests always change. I'm always looking at something a little different. I've been trying to think what I could do on here that would be a little different, but I'm not exactly sure yet. This is good though. This is good time because it gets me to do things that I normally wouldn't do sometimes. Like these crates, yeah, I could do them at any time, but it's good busy work. Makes me focus on it. And I've come up with so many ideas on this stream by being forced to sit down and make something. It's been great for that. It's right there in the name, yeah, right? The crates are the Hella Dope crates. So I don't know if you remember the Hella Dope Toys guys, John, but yeah, I was showing them earlier. We did these last year and sold a bunch of them, and got a second version that most of the guys here have seen a bunch of times because I've been working on them on and off for a long time now. We're just going to set that to the side. That's perfect for that. Who knew that 1 troy pound tin bullion bar would come in handy? That's tin, by the way, not silver. I'm not that rich. You make any new dioramas? I mean, John, it depends from when you're talking about, but I've made some stuff. We've been working on the graveyard. I had a big graveyard I was doing about, man, 3 years ago, I think I started it. Never finished it. I did some more work on it. We got this, like, mausoleum that goes with it. And then there's, like, there we go. This whole wall, which is obviously kind of big, and there's a whole, like, you know, base to it and everything with a couple of layers. And then all throughout it, you know, there's like little tombstones and stuff like that, so. I had it out last week on the stream. We had it all set up and put together. It's a little bit too big for my live streaming area. Oh, you remember the graveyard? Cool. Yeah, I started that. You need one of those crosses? I got all kinds of crosses, man. I got... This one's by hand, made out of foam. I have these that are 3D printed. I designed in Blender years ago. That's a little more gothy looking, I guess. But I got a bunch of different stuff like that. Maybe I'll make some new headstones this year. I'm not sure. I could design a couple. The one that I really need to finish is this fancy pants one that I never finished. But I think what I'll do is I'll just 3D print a thin plate with like some engraving on it instead of like trying to like cut this or anything. I'll just 3D print a thin plate and just glue it on the front of that so it could, you know, be customized. Okay. Oh yeah. Troy, what's going on, dude? TD3 Trooper. 17 months, Troy. That's crazy. That is wild. Appreciate the support, Troy. Not to brag, but a little flex. 22 months, right on. You should print an angel to go on top of that fancy pants gravestone. Yeah, that would be cool. It's a thought, Ed. Do you mean like a 3D statue of an angel on the top, or do you mean like maybe the face of an angel, or like a relief carving of an angel over here? Yes, don't blink, the Doctor Who episode. I remember that. I watched Doctor Who for when they did the reboot, or when they came back. Not the reboot. It was like the 9th Doctor, before it got really super popular again. And then they had, I think it was David Tennant, then the other guy. On top of any of those would be cool. Yeah. John likes that idea. Right on. I might look into it. The only thing is I don't have... Actually, I do have beige stuff now. I'll have to repaint it because the filament won't match. Excuse me. The filament won't match this exactly, so I'll have to print it and then maybe repaint the whole thing, but that's fine. So, Ed, I know you were talking about a command table, and I pulled these out because I was looking at them. These are the ones, obviously, that were made from foam before. So, when you were talking about a printout, were you talking about, like, up here? Or do you mean, like, a slot coming out the side? Or... I wasn't exactly sure. Also, for anyone else that hasn't been in here in a while, this was something else I was working on a few weeks ago, and that is these 3D printed tables I designed that I need to put up on Etsy, but I haven't put up on Etsy yet. You got like the table and the bench, and that's using that matte 3D printing filament, which, you know, you can still see the lines, but I really like that matte filament. It's got a nice look to it. All multicolor print. Pretty neat. Yeah, I like Torchwood. On the top at any of those. Oh no, hold on, wait. Where's your box for all those buttons you're popping out? Yeah, you're not wrong. I need to go get that box. I was thinking about that. Look at all these, man. It's a lot of buttons. The thing is, I have these guys. These are the ones that I print specifically for buttons. These are a little bit thicker because this is cut from 3mm and this is cut from the buttons I make are cut from popsicle sticks. So I need to put them in a separate spot, otherwise it'll be very confusing when I go to actually use them. Even a cell, so the whole top. Oh, you mean like the whole thing could, battle maps or something like that? A 3D printed battle map terrain board would be awesome. Either of these tables would work for what you need, though. Right on. Yeah, a 3D printed battle map terrain board would be really freaking sweet. You know, like have like the contour. It would look better with resin, but I don't know if it necessarily needs to be resin. I have clear PLA. It would probably look pretty cool in clear PLA too. I got the, what do I got clear in? I got completely clear and I got red. I think I have something else too. I don't even know. I got a lot of filament. I don't even know how many rolls of filament I have. Probably 50. I don't know. A lot. Battle map board, right? Especially if you could light it. If you could light it, that would look sick with the clear filament. Which would be lighter? What do you mean, Troy? The clear or the red? Is that what you're asking? If you're asking that, it would be the clear would be lighter. If not, clarify. That's funny though, Ed. Ed, you were like, don't waste those buttons, dude. Secure the buttons. PLA versus resin, that question would make more sense. I tend to think PLA would be lighter. Yeah, I tend to think PLA would be lighter, but it would depend on the settings, I think. I don't have, like, I've done resin printing, but I'm not, like, intimately familiar with it as far as, you know, I could just tell you right off the bat. Intuitively, I feel like resin is generally heavier in a print than PLA, because PLA, you know, it's more, it's less likely to have solid parts at that scale, I think. Although not having it print solid would probably mess up the light distribution through shining through it. You would see the support network inside, but you know, with a geometric support pattern inside there, it might actually look cool. You know, like it's part of the computer generation of the hologram thing. That's what I was trying to say. Thanks, Ed. Yeah. I feel like if Kenny was here, Kenzo would have a more solid answer on that. Oh boy. Words are hard, right? Ed, if I'm lazy and I don't do anything, we'll talk about these. Otherwise, I'll try and make something new. Haven't even started yet? Okay, right on. You can tell me a little bit more of your general idea in DMs if you like. Up to you. Maybe that'll give me some thoughts. Don't think I want to get into printing. It seems like a whole another skill set. It is a whole other skill set. So, and there's multiple skill sets in it, right? Resin printing is different than filament printing. Just being able to deal with the machine in 3D printing, although it's not super difficult, there's troubleshooting that happens. If you get a bamboo, or the newer machines are much more user-friendly than the old ones. But that's not even like getting into design. If you're wanting to design your own stuff, that's a whole other skill set. Modeling 3D stuff is very different than sculpting organic things like, arms or faces. That's a whole other skill set. So there's a lot of rabbit holes to go down for sure, but I'd say you could get like the basic, just have a 3D printer so you can go online, find some parts and print them out. Not that bad. It's not that bad, but things will break, little things will mess up occasionally, and you'll have to muddle through that. It can get frustrating. These machines, I haven't had too much frustration, but after dealing with like the older Ender 3s, I might be somewhat inoculated against it, because those things, They were great machines for their time, but man, you had a lot of tweaking that had to happen to get things to go. The problems I usually have are like bed adhesion when I'm printing larger items. So if I print something about that big, it's usually fine. If I print something like 9x9 or 8x8, there's always adhesion problems. A lot of it has to do with I'm trying to make things with like sharp corners. Sharp corners are no good. They peel up. They tend to peel up because it cools unevenly. And then as it peels up, it just gets more and more jacked up. But, you know, you got to think about how you design it. You can make it with a rounded corner. You could break it up. There's things you can do. But that's a whole other skill set. Kind of like you said a minute ago. But if you're not designing stuff, man, there's so many, like Thingiverse, which has been around forever now, or Bamboo has Maker World. You just go on there and download files. There's just, feels almost like infinite free files available of all kinds of stuff. Pretty much anything you can imagine. to get with Ted so we can promote these and get them sold. At some point, Ed. At some point, that would be cool. We could maybe do a special stream. Perhaps get Larry involved. If he's up for it. Not that punk. I might need to actually make a prototype crate for him before I bug him again about helping me with these other crates, but I mean, he's a pretty good sport. Heard Larry was taking the Sunday night spot. Are you being serious, Fat Red? I mean, he's pretty much taken every other day of the week at this point. And if you are being serious, what's he just doing another show, or he's moving one of his other streams? Briscoe, what's going on, Briscoe? Oy. I was just wondering, I was thinking to myself, I wonder where Briscoe is a little while ago. Oh, I see. Yeah, it sounds like a joke. Uh-oh, late night shopping, that'll get you in trouble. What were you shopping for, Briscoe? Is this the leaving the house type of shopping or online shopping? Leaving the house and I hate it. You know, I have been an online shopper longer than most people, I would say. I'm sure there's probably a few guys in here like that, but I was buying computers and items online in the 90s. And it was great. And it still is cool. You know, Amazon is amazing. In comparison, we're such a bunch of spoiled babies now where we're like, oh, I gotta wait 3 days, you know, or like, if it's not today or the next day, you're tripping. You know, when eBay started, probably the average time to get something was like 4 weeks, maybe. You know, you would bid on it, then you'd send them a check, then they'd get the check, then they'd have to wait for the check to clear, then they'd pack the item, and they'd ship the item. But I think there's something to be said. Like, I actually kind of like going shopping sometimes. Not that I do it that much, but I don't know. It's just too much antisocial behavior. I wish Hella Dope would just say, here's the deal, without being super specific. Lets their base know what's going on. Yeah, Fat Red, I get that. But, you know, sometimes things are not easily explainable, or sometimes whatever's going on is just so in your face that you can't, you know, you're not thinking about it. So, I mean, whatever it is, I'm sure they have their reasons. Also, Ted gets flustered, and I could see him just, you know. Still a minimum of 2 weeks to get anything in Candleland. Wow. Briscoe, it's crazy. I can go on Amazon, and as long as it's like before, I don't know, 4 o'clock, I want to say, there's a whole bunch of items that you get the same day. The same day. So it could be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you order something, and you will have it between like 5 and 10 p.m. It's nuts. Nuts. And we have drone delivery around here now. They're starting that in. There's a Walmart across the street here, and that thing has those zipline drones flying out of it. So as that gets more and more steam, which I think it will, there's just going to be a wider and wider range of items. You know, 5-10 years from now, you're just going to be able to order stuff and get it in an hour or so at your house. Thing is, there really is nothing going on. Aaron hurt his back, and Ted is running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Yeah, Ed, that's about what I figured. It's the chicken with the head cutting off. It's not super easy to communicate when you can't organize your thoughts to communicate. And it's easy to get flustered, honestly, when you have a job and a family and the YouTube thing that's on pause, but you know, the site and all that. Next day I'm eating 2.5 weeks, right? Fat Red, I live in DFW, so I'm near everything. Like Dallas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you know, the individual towns or cities or whatever you want to call them that make up the area. Dallas is pretty big. Fort Worth is pretty big. But most of the towns are not, you know, it's like 120,000 here, 200,000 there. But combined as a metroplex, it's like one of the biggest concentrations of people. And everything. They have there's a million DCs here. And you got to think how much stuff comes up from Mexico. And DFW Airport is ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what Ed might know what it compares to in size, but I feel like DFW Airport is, you know, as big as some cities. The population in DFW is bigger than 20-ish state Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, when I moved here, coming out of New York, I thought of Texas as, you know, whatever. I didn't really think about Texas. You think cowboys and cowboy hats and stuff like that. But this area in particular, there's a huge, basically, land port, you know, down south from all the shipping coming up from Mexico, because it's all by land. It doesn't come through, you know, ocean liners or freight ships like from China. So there's a huge amount of traffic coming and going. And now, you know, Texas has had a good economy for the last 20 years, even through like 2009, all that stuff. Didn't really feel it here that much. I mean, maybe a little. Now the price of everything has gone up. So many people have moved here in the last 10 years from California, from New York, from other states. And yeah, that combined with some other things going on. You know, I'd say like large corporations buying up tons of single-family homes. We don't have to get too far into that. But the price of living here has gone from super easy for just an average working Joe not making that much. You could have a retail or a service industries job and be able to get a nice apartment and a car, no problem. And if you were married or something, you could, 2 salaries, you could easily get like 2 low salaries. You know, I'm talking about like a team lead at McDonald's and a department manager at Walmart. You would have a house, 2 cars, and unless you were just, you know, super spendy, you'd be all right. You know, a house around here 20 years ago was like 110, 120, 130. I mean, it was very reasonable. Now everything's like 400,000, 500,000. 300 can get you a old beat up starter home, maybe. Nearest gas station is probably about 15. No. Yeah, I'd say about 1,500 feet from where I'm sitting. Okay. What do I want to do here? Hot glue. Let's switch over to hot glue and do some of these handles that I'm avoiding doing. But yeah, there's a huge Walmart distribution center up in Sanger, Texas, which is north of where I am, probably about halfway between here and Oklahoma. Huge. It's huge. Actually, it got damaged in a windstorm just a few weeks ago. Had part of the roof come off. Now, I don't know how, but I lost my pre-cut handles, and I was keeping one or two of them, so I always had a rope string to compare, so I could cut the same length, and now I just kind of have to guess. So let's do a little guess here. See what that looks like. Yep, that's a little long. That'll work. Alright, so let's cut a bunch of those. What the heck was I using to cut it? I must have been using the blade, because this thing sucks. Just draw 2 lines and lay it and cut it. No, Ed. No, I'm not doing that. That would make a lot more sense, Ed, but I'm going to the tip of the E to partway in between the 2 feet of the H in hella dope. 2 lines would make it too easy. Let's remove these pieces because they're going to drive me nuts. Measure it so you know in case you lose the pattern again. I mean, that would make sense. But sometimes I feel like, it's a happy little accident, man. It's a happy little accident. Maybe some variety in the handle length is just what we needed. But that's a good idea. Here, let's take a look at it. I think it's 3 3/16 inch. Well, it's different this time, Fat Red. Hold up. Fat Red, if you knew what the measurement was last time, why didn't you tell me that when I was trying to figure out what the measurement was? That would have been helpful. Just saying. I'm high and doing stuff. Yeah. You're fine. What you doing? skinny stick. Shots for the mixtape tomorrow and the online protest in October. Okay. Actually, now I'm on the couch. Well, it is kind of late, man. Sensible people are sleeping already. Only sensible people are watching. You random. Okay, Briscoe, we'll go with that. Extra 1/16 of an inch might make it easier to tie off. I actually like the look of it just a little bit shorter, so I kind of realized it was going to be a little shorter when I did it. It's fine. It's fine. only 994 to go. Well, maybe not that many. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Only 24 more to go. So that's 48 strings. Anyone sleeping yet? Ed, you still awake? Yeah, Ed's still awake. I just saw him. Fat Red's on the couch, so I don't know. That's liable to fall out at any moment, probably. Oh yeah, I'm not high. That definitely makes a difference. Can Sasquatches even get high? I don't know. This is my prime time. Right on, Trip D. Take care, Troy. Great timing. Thanks for a great show. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Wow. Predicted that, huh? Edible is just kicking in for me, so it'll be a while. All right, Briscoe. Don't do drugs, kids, okay? Okay? Takes a lot. Shrooms are preferred. Oh, man. Well, they should grow all over there, probably. I remember on Long Island they had something called Big Laughin' Gyms. I never had any. But I did hear about them. Briscoe, why is Ed gonna just out his family like that? That'd be messed up. Sasquatch looking. Look, man, it's all fun and games when you're looking at the Sasquatch, but it might not be so fun when he's looking at you. I sure wish we had some more forest around here, though, man. Gotta go with the crew, right? Bring Van Helsing with you. What are the cryptids in your area random? I really don't know, Briscoe. I would guess this has got to be like prime chupacabra territory. Aside from that, I'm not sure. Ed probably knows better than I do. The silicone mat, so easy. It's the mean southern side, too hot for their big hairy butts. Yeah, that's how I feel living down here, honestly. Texas has squatch, chupacabra mostly. All right, Ed. Oh, man. Skinwalkers. Well, that doesn't sound pleasant. Honestly, neither does the chupacabra. I feel like you could chill out with the Squatch. I have not seen it, Ed. I don't know if any of the guys in the chat have. Kind of sounds like something Briscoe might have watched. I'm gonna check it out after the stream, right? What's the premise of the movie, Ed? Is it a Sasquatch romance? The edible will probably make it even better. It's probably not false. Follows the lives of a family of Sasquatch. That's funny. The Bigfoot movie directed by Bobcat. Oh, I remember that guy. I can't remember how you say his name, but yeah, that guy. The only Bigfoot movie that I'm thinking of was it a movie or a TV show? Harry and the Hendersons. Movie and a TV show. Wow. Kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sam Elliott, no? What? That's crazy. Saw it, not bad, but not good either. Well, you know. 3-star draw coming in at the very end to say, what's up, everybody? What's up, man? How you doing tonight? Or this morning? Doing some editing right on. Oh my goodness, this is torture. All right. Well, we got about halfway through them. The handles. We did put some together too, so I gotta remember that. I don't know why the music keeps stopping like that. It doesn't usually do that. I don't think it usually does that. Alright guys, so kind of a quiet night. A little under the weather. Didn't really have anything planned. As you can see, we're doing the old Endless Hella Dope Crate special here. Definitely not looping like normal, right? Yeah, something's off. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's still playing through it. It's an hour and 57 minutes into the 3-hour file, but I don't know. Trip D. Take care, man. YouTube has really messed up lately. It has been a little weird. Sure has been off the past few days, Briscoe. Okay. Well, Trip, you're leaving right at the opportune time, because we're at an hour and 53 minutes, but it's 12:59, so almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to wrap it up. Wrap that up. Okay. Great stream, Radnam. Thank you, Briscoe, very much. Everyone, have a fantastic week. Have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll see you next week. And yeah, thank you guys for your support. Appreciate the channel members and everyone who just stopped in and hung out and chit-chatted or slept through the stream, which is totally fine. That's kind of what we do here. Later. Come on, end it.